I think we are going to start with the congregational song. Joe Rathburn is our special music today.
Hi.
Let's stand and sing. So now that we got the energy up, let's bring it back down. And Sylvia will lead us in our meditation.
God is love. God is love within my heart. No matter how many mistakes I have made, they are not held against me when I bring myself into harmony with God's perfect love and truth. To be reconciled with God within is the answer to clarifying every situation at hand. Truth is brought into my life. There is a cleansing within my own thinking and an adjustment in personal relationships. I am in harmony with truth. During our silent meditation, I invite you to contemplate this thought. I am in harmony with love and truth. On this day, which God has made, so perfect, beautiful, all-encompassing, a delight in every way. For there is peace and harmony and rolling waves of love coming through from the entire universe to fill our hearts with joy, harmony, and absolute peacefulness. All there is God. Moreover, there's God. I'm grateful for this day that brings the community together here at Om and online and even out further around the globe. The energy of love is connecting each and every one of us. Today, everything comes together and unfolds perfectly. Thanks to the technology. Thank you, Martin. Much thanks to our wonderful speaker today, Mary. And much thanks to everyone who is here, present, happy, open, joyful, full of great hopes, desires, and dreams. It is all God. I'm grateful for how this day unfolds beautifully today. Starting here, starting now, always has been, always shall be. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. And so now let's welcome back Joe Rathburn.
Thank you for that Las Vegas introduction. Hi, as you all know, I've been asked here to play the pre and post talk music, and the theme today being Pieces, P-I-E-C-E-S, to Peace, P-E-A-C-E. My first song will be the Pieces, and my last song will be Peace. So don't be shocked. It's morning and traffic is making you late. Your boss fires people for making her wait. You just spilled your coffee, it's burning your lap. You're right on the edge and about ready to snap. You're running on empty, you pull into shell. You notice your engine is making that smell. Your shoes come untied, you know you'll be canned when half of your shoelace breaks off in your hand. You hear that tone on the radio in a voice that gives it perspective. This is only a test. We're checking the wiring, igniting your circuits to see that they're firing. Yeah, don't let it disturb you. It's all for the best. Stay tuned for the real thing. This is only a test. Your 2-year-old's crying and just saying no. The band knows the song better than I do. Your 2-year-old's crying and just saying no. You just dropped the ironing board on your toe. Breakfast is burning, smoke fills the air. The 8-year-old comes in with gum in her hair. Phone rings as somebody selling insurance. You're reaching the limits of human endurance. 2-year-old covers the carpet in juice. Smoke hits detector, all hell breaks loose. Had it been an actual emergency, you'd probably be dead by now. This only a test. We're checking the wiring, igniting your circuits to see that they're firing. Yeah, don't let it disturb you. It's all for the best. Stay tuned for the real thing. This is only a test. Don't sweat the small stuff, and most of it's small stuff. There's gonna be big stuff, just not better than you. Life don't give you anything that you can't handle. Stay cool, keep calm and carry on, and you'll make it through. Woo. Can you relate to this? Have you ever had one of those days when your world is coming apart at the seams? You just lost the girl or the boy of your dreams. Trouble at work, cars in the shop, you're putting on weight and you can't seem to stop. The roof has a leak, it's ruined the floors. Kids filled the new sleeping bag up with s'mores. The neighbor that tripped on the skateboard is suing. One more minor matter will be your undoing. Stay tuned for further instructions. It's useless to duck and cover, 'cause it's only a test. Just checking the wiring, igniting the circuits to see that they're firing. Yeah, don't let it disturb you. It's all for the best. Stay tuned for the real thing. This is only a test. We're checking the wiring, igniting the circuits to see that they're firing. Yeah, don't let it disturb you. It's all for the best. Stay tuned for the real thing. This is only a test. Yeah, that's right. The universe is testing you. Don't sweat it. It's only a test. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. You're welcome. Always fun and entertaining songs. When the tone first came on, I immediately thought of the Clash song, "This is a public service announcement." I don't know if anybody in here remembers that, but very fun. Thank you. And I am excited to be here today, more excited than usual. We have a very special guest with us today, and I would just like to introduce you all to one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, and that is my daughter, Gracie. Don't want to start off my talk crying because, I don't know. So is anybody here, were you raised to believe that your value or your worth was based on your accomplishments? Yeah. Most of us, because that's kind of our society, right? I was thinking about how moms talk. You know, you get together and you talk, "Oh, how are you? You know, how are the kids?" And so you kind of go down the laundry list of all the accomplishments your kids have made and how proud you are of them for their accomplishments. And it's interesting because the word believe, we were raised to believe that our value and worth comes from our accomplishments or what we do. And the word believe, within the word believe, is a lie. So that is a lie. Our value and our worth does not come from what we do. We are valuable and worthy simply because we are. The theme for the month is Transcendent Purpose. And I was thinking about that, like to transcend seems to rise above. So I think they're talking about a higher purpose. And today we're going to talk about that we are valuable and worthy simply because we are. That Spirit had need of an organ, and your life is proof that you are fulfilling that need for spirit to express itself as you. And they talk about our divine inheritance. You don't have to do anything to be eligible for this inheritance. And so many of us struggle with wondering, what is my purpose? What is my higher purpose in life? And, throughout history, people have asked, what is the meaning of life and what is my purpose? Monty Python even did a movie, The Meaning of Life, right? I was watching some clips, thinking, how can I incorporate that into the talk? But it is just such a bizarre movie. I've never got it. But anyways, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Isn't that the truth? We're acculturized and socialized to try to fit into a box, to be okay, to fit in. I remember as a kid, it kind of changes when you hit sort of that adolescence point. As a young child, they're free and they're expressing themselves, and like your song said, there's s'mores on the chair and gum in their hair or whatever. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, kids are just open and expressing themselves. I remember when Gracie was little, they called her Shoeless Joe because she just didn't want to wear shoes. and then we sort of get trained into what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And when I was a kid, I was pretty rambunctious, and I remember the kids at school saying, Mary, you're so weird. So I quickly learned what was okay and what was not okay, and to sort of fit in this box of acceptability. And that I would be okay if, I stayed within the lines and within the box. And it's difficult to go against the crowd, isn't it? But as we get older, that's one of the freedoms of getting older, is we don't care as much anymore what people think about us. Am I right? So I found dozens of quotes in preparing for this talk about sort of like the point is fill in the blank. There were so many different versions of what the point, what the meaning, what the purpose is of this life and what our purpose is. And what it boils down to, what I sort of gleaned from looking at all these different things, is the purpose of life is to live it. Plain and simple. And it looks different for each one of us, doesn't it? And it's amazing for me to think, now I don't smoke weed, but I kind of trip on some of this stuff sometimes, because I think about, okay, each of us here has a unique purpose, and we are all expressions of the divine. So spirit is expressing itself in all these different ways. And all the people on the planet, spirit is expressing itself uniquely and individually as each one. And everyone who ever has existed and ever will exist. I mean, it's like mind-blowing to think how vast and infinite it is. I was listening to a podcast this week, and they were saying there are trillions of galaxies like our galaxy. Maybe not like, but there are trillions of other galaxies. That's just amazing. The expansiveness is just beyond comprehension, really, for me. I'm upside down here. And so each of us has our own unique purpose. And even if we have a shared purpose, like this community, we have a shared purpose, on a team, at work, in a work team or a sports team. You have a shared purpose, but you have a unique point of view. You have a unique perspective and contribution to that team. Nobody is exactly the same, even though it feels like, oh, we're so, connected, and everybody's unique. The Science of Mind perspective says that the purpose of life is fundamentally about self-realization and recognizing our inherent divinity. We're all expressions of the infinite mind, and our primary purpose is to awaken to this truth. And we need to awaken and reawaken and be reminded and reawaken. It's not a one-time, one and done kind of thing. For me, I need to be reminded. I need to come back here. I need to talk to spiritual people, read books, just be reminded in so many different things, and then begin to recognize that divinity in all things. Sometimes when when you're engaged in work or something, you're not consciously thinking about it, and then I go, oh, I met with that person and I didn't pray first or something, but that's sort of my personal goal, is to bring that consciousness and bring that awareness, that conscious awareness, into all of my activities. And our worth is not dependent on external achievements or societal standards, but our very existence as spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So I talk about some of the woo-woo podcasts that I like listening to them. I drive a lot, so I listen to them while I'm driving. And a number of these sort of spiritual thinkers, current thinkers, have talked about Earth being so unique among all the other, I don't know what you want to call them, the planets, all the other levels of existence. And Science of Mind talks about how we believe in the eternality, immortality, and continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. Had to memorize that in Foundations. And so we are these continuous souls, and who knows? Are there parallel universes? Are there other timelines that we're existing simultaneously? I don't know. But so many of these thought leaders today are talking about the uniqueness of the Earth experience, and how there are like souls lined up trying to get in. So we're here to have experiences, and we have human emotions. So some feel good, some feel bad, but they're all valuable experiences. And we're free to choose our own path. There's not some preordained path. Like there might be sort of a preordained idea of what you came here to learn or experience, but you get to choose how you're going to get there. And I'll talk a little later about detours, but many years ago, I decided that my purpose is to be of service. And so that has expressed itself in several ways throughout my life. I've done 12-step work, been of service in that area, been a mother, been of service to my kids. I continue to do that, I hope. As a practitioner and in my professional work, I'm of service in a lot of areas in my life, and that's very fulfilling to me. And not long ago, I woke up with a thought. I woke up and had this thought that being of service to myself is also sacred. It is a sacred act. It's a spiritual practice to be of service to myself. And I invite you to embrace and embody that as well. And that doesn't mean that I'm not of service in the other areas. It's not a either or kind of thing. And it's just that I don't give and give and give and give at the expense of myself anymore, which is one of the other benefits of age. And Candace and Sharonda talked last week about self-love. And I really feel like the more I have moved into this, my pages are, one is up and one is down. The more I have moved into this idea of radical self-care and loving myself, just loving myself, no matter what, for the things that I'm proud of, because there's plenty of things in my life that I'm proud of, but also the things that I'm not so proud of. I did this training on the Johari window, I think it's called. I did this training. This Johari window is the things that are visible to you and visible to others. Things that are visible to others, but that you are kind of blind to. The things that are, you and others see in you, you see in yourself, but others don't see, and then things that are blind to both you and to others. So it was an interesting training, and the idea of loving myself, even the shadow side of myself, the side that I don't want anybody to know. But it comes out sometimes. And sometimes there are things that I might react to something and somebody else sees it in me and I don't see it in myself. But I'm just learning to love all of it. Just embrace it and love all of it. And I invite you to do that as well. And you can't make a mistake. You cannot make a mistake. Neil Donald Walsh said, "Life is pointless, and that is God's greatest gift." Do you have a dollar? Does anybody have a dollar? Take your dollar out. Take your dollar out. You don't have your dollars? Whatever it is, $100 bill is great. But look at the dollar bill in your hand. It's made of some sort of combination of paper and fiber, woven together and printed. Is there any value in that piece of paper? In and of itself, it's just a piece of paper. But we give it value. We say this $100 bill has value because we assign it value. So we get to assign the value and purpose of our life. Life is pointless until we assign it a point or a value or meaning. I saw something online recently, and it was just like a Facebook post, and it said, you can choose one or the other. Would you rather go back to your 10-year-old self, knowing what you know now, and live your life over, or would you rather go X number of years into the future? For me, I automatically knew I don't want to go into the future. I want to sort of get there. But I was thinking about going back to my 10-year-old self, and I was reading the comments, and people were like, yeah, I'd buy Apple stock and, this and that. I'd be a millionaire. But I was thinking about it. Would we really want to go back? Because I don't know about y'all, but I've made a lot of really dumb mistakes, I've made a lot of dumb decisions, maybe not mistakes, but dumb decisions. But it has been a necessary part of my journey to get me here. Without those dumb decisions, I wouldn't have been pulled towards healing and growth and expansion. Without those experiences that are challenging to us, we would just sort of glide along. Has anybody here seen The Good Place, the TV show? It is the best. I binge watched it, and it is the best. But what I really liked about it is, we sort of have this like idea of heaven. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it. I think it's on Netflix or Prime or something. You can find it. We have this idea of heaven as this perfect place where everything is peaceful and lovely and we're always at peace. But wouldn't that get kind of boring after a while? If everything was light, like a fish in the ocean is swimming around the water, and you say, "How's the water today?" They'd be like, "What's water?" They don't know any different. So the ups and downs and the good times and the challenges in our lives give us perspective. They give us room to grow. They give us motivation to do something, obstacles and challenges to overcome, that type of thing. So these challenges are not failures, or these poor decisions, our mistakes, our detours are not failures. They are a necessary part of our journey. In The Road Less Traveled, F.M. Scott Peck, I think wrote that. It was a long time ago. The very first line of that book says, "Life is difficult." And until I accept that life is difficult, I'm going to be struggling and pushing against things. And I remember being in Reverend Guy Williams' office crying about something, and I may have shared this before, but I was crying about something that was going on in my life, and he said, "Mary, the problem is not that this is a problem. The problem is that you think it shouldn't be happening." That was so profound. It stuck with me. And our purpose, our challenges, our journey, it changes. It's sort of meandering, right? And my purpose in my 20s was entirely different than in my 30s, 40s, 50s, and going into 60s or 70s. And so I invite you to ask yourself right now, what is my purpose right now? What is my primary purpose right now? And this question causes us to reflect on our current circumstances, our feelings, our aspirations, where we want to go. And our purpose is not a fixed destination. It's an evolving journey, and it changes as things change in our lives. Ask anyone who's dealing with a health challenge. On any given day, you might feel like you have 100 problems. But if you're struggling with a health challenge, you only have one. You only have one problem, and that is healing and staying alive or getting out of pain or whatever it is. I had a friend who I worked with, and she had a great career. She graduated from Berkeley, was married, had a good life, made good money, real career-driven woman. And then she experienced breast cancer. And she went through breast cancer treatment, and she, successfully healed from that. And she decided, I have not had children, and that's what I want to do in my life. So that health experience and challenge just caused her to be laser focused. And then she and I were pregnant at the same time with my youngest and her only child. But it was just that. And I was almost 40, and she was probably about the same age. Those things can change, and some of the struggles that we experience can sort of cause us to change direction, create a new purpose for ourselves. I had a 20-year career in human resources as a recruiter. And at the time, I really felt like that was my purpose. My sister thought it was hilarious that I worked in HR, because in sort of my previous version of my life, I struggled to be able to hold a job. I had some jobs till noon, I'd go to lunch, just didn't go back, if I even made it there to begin with. And today I get to show up. I'm excited to show up to all my jobs and be of service. And, it's totally different. So, and I'm in a completely different field now. But that's just an example of how we change directions, and what feels like such a purpose at one point can sort of expand and change and evolve. So I was also, speaking of that dollar, I was having a conversation with a couple of fellow practitioners yesterday, and we were talking about classes. And I remember when at service, they would talk about the foundations class, and it was a $200 class. And I remember sitting there just thinking, I don't have $200 to take a class. I just don't have it. And then I took one class that was sort of like I took a class that was on a love offering donation basis. So I'm like, I can do that. And I had to get a babysitter to do the class. And so I was paying the babysitter $15 a day. So it was like week after week. And I told the teacher after a couple weeks, I said, I don't think I can keep doing this because I can't afford to pay the babysitter $15 a week. And he said, tell you what, he says, we're going to pass the basket and we're going to pay your babysitter because I want you in this class. And so that's what he did. And I was talking to these practitioners yesterday, and it just really struck me. Last year I bought a house. Yay. And I'm getting a driveway put in. I never knew I'd be so excited about a driveway. And I'm getting the outside stuccoed next, and I'm doing these things, and it just dawned on me and occurred to me, look how far you've come. And I am not saying that it has been straight shot. There I've had some low valleys from there to here. But when we are persistent and consistent and stay the course and try to, bring this conscious awareness into all the activities of our lives and our days and moments, we get to do it. We get to experience this life and live this life. I love Edwene Gaines told a story about a friend of hers who had this business card, and she gave her the business card, and Edwene looks at it, and it was Jane Smith, MSU, and Edwene says, oh, I didn't know you were an MSU. She says, what is that? And her friend said, make stuff up. So we get to make it up. The invitation is yours. What is your purpose right now? And you are a powerful co-creator in your life. And Reverend Guy, my previous minister, used to say, co-operators are standing by. So that's the invitation. Make stuff up. Make stuff up for yourself. It's your life. You get to live it. Thank you. And we do have one more thing. We have an affirmation. And I got this from one of my podcasts this week. And it goes along with our congregational song. So I invite you to speak this into existence with me. We're going to do it 3 times. The first is quiet, then is in a normal voice, and then in a more robust, confident voice. I stand in the certainty of my light. I stand in the certainty of my light. I stand in the certainty of my light. And so it is. So I'm going to invite Joe back, and I'm just briefly going to just close this with a prayer, just knowing that one infinite life, that presence, that power, that infinite mind is just expressing itself right here and right now, in, through, and as each one of us, in, through, and as each person, animal, plant, rock, body of water, everything on this planet, everything that is now, ever has been, and ever shall be. And I am just so grateful for this time together, just knowing that it is good, that it is God, that this is the expression of that divine life. And I just give thanks. I just allow this message and this energy to inspire and uplift each one of us as we go out into the next moments and hours and days of our lives. And as I do, I just give great thanks, calling it forth into being, saying, let it be done. And so it is.
So it is.